So are you ready to PR yourself? We'll remove the mystery from all things PR, and we'll discuss everything from our top strategies to tips and tricks and everything that you can utilize to further enhance your brand or your message. I've been in media, I'm a journalist, and I'm also a publicist. I am Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, and your host for PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. Let's go. And welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I am your host, Leah Frazier, CEO of Think3 Media, based out of Dallas, Texas. And I am so excited to be back with you to feature this next episode. But before I get into what we're going to be speaking about today with our guest, Ramon Ray, I just want to say hello and a big thank you to everyone who is tuning in. I don't know if I've mentioned it on prior episodes, but we are the number 6 PR podcast in the world. So shout out to each and every one of you that tune in every time we drop a new episode. I'm really pushing myself hard to do it once a week if I can. So I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. We're almost going on about 5 years and we're almost up to about 50,000 downloads. So again, thank you all so very much. And also yesterday I received the great news that this podcast is now a part of the National Association of Black-Owned Broadcasters Network. They have their own podcast network. So just like Charlemagne the God has a Black Effect podcast network and iHeartRadio has this podcast network, which we distribute through iHeartRadio, but it's not the same. We are now a part of the National Association of Black-Owned Broadcasters Podcast Network, which is also powered by the United States Black Chamber and their media initiative. So excited to be a part of and really affiliated with those two just major brands. We're now going to be able to reach so many more small businesses who need DIY PR advice. So thank you so much to the National Association of Black-Owned Broadcasters, as well as to the United States Black Chamber and USBC Media for now including us within their first 100 Black podcasts that they've uploaded onto this platform. So super excited. You can find this podcast however you found it today, but also if you want to explore 100 other, or 99, I should say, 99 other Black-owned podcasts in the areas of lifestyle, travel, food, business, politics, whatever you're looking, entertainment, whatever you're looking to listen to, you can go to nabob.org/podcast and surf through all those podcasts. Again, I'm excited to be one of the initial podcasts featured on this platform, and I'm looking forward to many, many great things. So as we move forward into this episode, I mean, there's been just so much going on. I definitely have a couple of things that I want to tip my hat off to that were great in PR land that I've seen over the past couple of weeks. And there's one not so great. So let's start with the not so great. It's more of an annoyance. We just had the ACM Country Music Awards, and they're actually filmed out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, particularly in Frisco. I had the opportunity a couple of years ago. They brought me out to do some influencer stuff, and it was really, really cool. I'm a Texan, I'm born and raised in Texas. Listened to country music my whole life. Our high school dances, it was like hip hop, R&B, top 40, and you knew there was always going to be some sort of country in there, right? So grew up on country music. I'm fine with it. I think the issue that I have with the Country Music Awards recently was last night I was kind of going through social media, just kind of seeing who won what, and saw that there was a performance by the Backstreet Boys. Again, I love the Backstreet Boys, and they were performing Larger Than Life. And I thought it was so funny because they put this kind of country twang on it, and they were doing like these 2-step moves. And I couldn't figure out if it was like, did the choreographer coordinate these 2-step moves for y'all to this song? Or is it just because y'all are older now? Like, I couldn't figure out which one it was. But it was borderline like cool and corny and kind of like I don't know. It just kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. So anyways, but I automatically got ticked off because I'm like, here we were the year before. Beyonce comes out with Cowboy Carter, right? And yes, I'm a Beyonce fan, but I really do try to stay as neutral as I can to just observe issues. And I'm just like, she got so much backlash for quote unquote not being country. You know, she sold the most records. She had these incredible, like when we look at just the data and statistics, like Cowboy Carter really did put up some incredible numbers. And she was being told that she wasn't country. I'm not going to get into the historical and the nitty gritty to really go into Black country and Black country music and music in general with the Black community. I just don't have the time to do it today, but she was well within her right to create that album. And she's from Houston. Houston is very country if you've been to certain parts of Houston. So I just found it odd that she got as much backlash as she did last year with everybody in the country music entertainment industry saying she's not country. And just because you put a twang with it, you know, doesn't make it a country album. And they really didn't want to give her any awards. And we fast forward a year later and here we are with the Backstreet Boys, like a boy band from the 90s, you know, that hadn't sang a lick of country their whole time. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I was in high school at the time when Backstreet Boys was like at its prime. I don't remember them ever singing country. And here they are. Where are the critics saying this isn't country? I'll wait. Or saying just because you put a twang on it doesn't make it country. So I'm a little irritated by that. I think just given where everything is at right now in the world, I just think brands need to toe the line. Like if you have a value or you have a stance, stick with it. Don't then go and backtrack on it a year later. And then it's just so crazy to scan the crowd and see everybody rocking out to it. And then I was like, let me go to the comments. There was a couple comments that says this isn't country, but it wasn't the outrage that Beyonce got with her album. So I'm just like, y'all, the hypocrisy is real. So in my personal opinion for the ACMs, I don't think that was a good look, but maybe it was just me. So that's who's getting my no in PR land this week. Let me know what you guys think on that. But people doing it right that maybe you should take a look at. We're just going to stay with the Knowles family right now because they're just giving me so much life. But I traveled to Houston last week. Actually, it was earlier this week. Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, came out with her book. It was a #1 bestseller, and it's on the New York Times bestselling list right now. And it is called Matriarch, and it is her memoir. And I pre-ordered it. And yes, I bought front row. Actually, I was on the third row, but that's pretty much front row seats to her book tour. And it was in Houston. And guys, I was really the day of, I was like, Leah, you spent this money. You got to go to Houston. I had to get a hotel. It was all the things. And it was just storming like crazy here in Dallas. And I'm like, I really don't want to drive through this. I didn't get a plane ticket because I needed to be back in Dallas early the following morning to do TV on the Met Gala. We were supposed to do a blue carpet review on the Met Gala and Black dandyism and all of that. So I couldn't get a plane ticket because I had to be back in Dallas so freaking early. So anyways, so I'm driving down to Houston. Rain is coming from everywhere. It was so bad that I was probably going 40 miles an hour with my hazards on. And I'm like, what are you doing for the Knowles family? Like, they ain't giving you a cent, girl. Like, what are you doing? But I finally made it to Sugar Land, literally. And Sugar Land is like right outside of Houston. So they still kind of consider it Houston, just like with Dallas. We still consider like McKinney and Plano. We just say Dallas because y'all don't know where Plano or McKinney is. But anyway, so I went to Sugar Land and I literally pulled into the parking lot like 30 minutes before the event was supposed to start. Changed in the car because I don't care. And spruced on some fragrances and like really tried to get myself together. Did my makeup on the way there and get into the event. And you guys, I can honestly say I'm so glad that I went. And I always tell people when you feel that pressure or you feel like sometimes like backlash, or like there's this pressure of like, don't do it sometimes. And this is different than your gut, right? This is just, you just don't feel like doing it. And there's all these things coming from everywhere trying to prevent you from going somewhere. And a lot of those instances is like, because you're supposed to go. And I think for me, I've always been a big Beyonce fan, but I more so appreciated the experience that Tina's team created for all of us. So when I say that, it wasn't an ordinary book signing. And I think for podcasts like this, we really try to get you guys to think outside of the box when it comes to your business, your brand, your personal brand. And how can I be different than the person standing next to me doing the exact same thing? Everybody's doing book tours right now. I feel like I'm going to everybody's book signing right now. I just did Brianna Weiss a couple weeks ago. Shout out to her. We're like besties now in my head. Fantastic, right? Now Tina Knowles comes into the Texas area. Go see her. And the thing that made Tina's different for me was that she built in all of these hidden surprises. So we just didn't know what was going to happen. So we're sitting down, getting ready for the show to start. On the screen are all of her, it's like antique family photos. And so you're really just pulled in because you see these images of Tina, her family. If you know anything about her story with who Beyonce calls Uncle Johnny, there's pictures of Johnny, there's pictures of Solange, there's pictures of Beyonce. There's just all these images. So you're kind of drawn in because it's very fascinating for this family who oftentimes is very private. So you're just like, wow. And she had the R&B music playing, blah, 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 blah. So finally the event starts and out comes, they announce Kelly Rowland, who everybody loves Kelly. I love Kelly too. But Kelly was in her element because she's from Houston. So it's this whole other side of Kelly we've never seen before. She was sitting on that chair and that couch like she was at home. And she told us like, it's going to be like we invited you guys into our living room, which I loved. So that immediately took down all of the formalities. It took down all of the formal walls that normally happen with an event like that. Like we knew like this is going to be two people who've known each other for a while talking, and we get to eavesdrop and ear hustle on this conversation. And for me, a person that likes the gossip and the tea, I was all in. So Kelly gets there. She introduces Tina. Tina looks amazing. She has on this dress where it's like 72 years old wear. Or 71, whatever. But 70 where? She was slamming. She was snatched. She looked so good. And they're sitting on the couch and they're having this conversation, and we get this glimpse into like Tina's life and all of that. And then she gets to the chapter with her ex-husband, Matthew Knowles, who is Beyonce's dad. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, who better than to bring him on the stage himself and talk about the 134 pages that are in the book about him. Let's welcome out Matthew Knowles. And we're like, what? I had no idea he was there. I think other people had a clue. I had no clue. So this is why I'm like staying off social media when it comes to like concerts, and especially like Kendrick Lamar's concert and Cowboy Carter. I don't want to know. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, Matthew's here. We're going to get the tea. So Matthew comes out on stage. I'm not even going to repeat some of the things Matthew said because Tina was giving him a look like, why are you saying this? Not only is Beyonce going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, because Beyonce's on tour right now. She does not need anything you're saying right now that wasn't supposed to be said going viral. And she just gave him this look like it's time for you to go. But it was so good. So they brought out Matthew. Matthew gets off the stage. They start talking some more and going through the book. And then they get to this part. I think it was post-divorce for Matthew Knowles, where Tina's like, look, life was rough. I didn't know which direction I was going on. If everybody kind of knows the story, there was a lot of infidelity. He had children outside of the marriage. So Tina's kind of, she never really formally said it. It's in the book, but she was kind of just, she said she was in a really, really bad place. And so one of the songs that she played on repeat to get out of it was Yolanda Adams' Open My Heart. So she was talking about it. Everybody knows Tina's always at the church. You know, she's very faith-based. And then all of a sudden she was like, well, Houston, like who better than to bring me back to that place or to let you have a glimpse into it than bringing out 4-time Grammy Award winning artist. And I was like, what? Yolanda Adams. And they bring Yolanda out. I'm like, oh my God, getting my whole life right now. And Yolanda sits down. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, maybe Yolanda just gets to talk to Tina about the book. And so they talk for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, well, bummer. She's not going to get to sing, but it's really cool to see them interacting. And then all of a sudden those house lights go down and Yolanda gets to the middle of the stage. And if you know, Open My Heart, you hear that piano, my eyes immediately started watering because that was a song for me. I think it came out my senior year in high school because I just remember my high school sweetheart at the time, my boyfriend, being obsessed with that song and her, almost to the point to where I was jealous. Like, I have a good voice too, babe. But anyways, so the piano starts to come in and I just remember how powerful that song was for me. And then to see Tina and how it was making her react. And then Kelly Rowland was into it. So here's another singer, like really getting into it with another singer. And the whole space was just filled with like so much joy and love and inspiration. And Yolanda sang the heck out of that song. And I was really trying not to record the whole thing because, you know, like me being a mindfulness practitioner, I'm like, Leah, be in the moment, be in the present moment, be here. So I would stop recording so I could be present. But Yolanda was singing the hell out of that song. So I was like, I need this to remember this forever. So I recorded it. Yolanda got done, tore the roof down on the house, and then they got back into the discussion, and Tina and Kelly gave us, you know, just stories that we've never heard of from the family before, and it was so good. She really didn't spend a lot of time on Beyonce, which was great, but the overall event was just so well put together and thought out and intentional. I think that's the word I want to use, is intentional. The activations were great in the lobby before you got to sit down, and everything was just intentional. So I think the reason why I'm giving this such a great PR nod into her event team was that I felt like every little step was thought about. It just wasn't this book tour that was thrown together. And now I'm curious to see when they go to other cities, what are the surprise elements going to be? Because we got surprise after surprise. And I literally was sitting in my chair like my anxiety can't take it anymore. But it made it so special for me, someone who had driven, you know, through multiple storms to get there, which should have been a 4-hour drive. And I think it was about 6 to get to the Houston area. And it made it so much well worth it. And I had already had a signed copy of the book here at home. So that kind of made it a little bit bad because I didn't bring my book with me, and I don't think she was signing books on the premises, but I had already ordered a signed copy through Oprah's book club and Barnes and Noble. So I was like, but it made me want to dive into the book more. And even the first couple chapters, they're so good. So my hat tips off to Tina Knowles. You win. Your team, your PR team, your squad, your publisher, Penguin, Random House, all of you get my huge PR nod for intentionality and just going beyond an actual book signing and a book tour and giving the fans and giving the guests an experience. Thank you for an experience. So if anybody's tuning in and you're listening and you want to know what you can do, I think today's episode, as I think about it, is just all about experiences, human elements, emotional marketing, really drawing people into you without sacrificing some of the things that you don't want to give away, your privacy, personal things about you. You can still make someone feel like they're a part of your community and a part of you without giving away everything about yourself. Really tailoring your brand to a human experience. So I think that's why I was so in love with the book tour. Which segues me into our guest speaker and interview guest for today, Ramon Ray. And I'm going to give him a PR nod because even after this interview that you're about to listen to, weeks later, I get a letter in the mail, and it's from Ramon and his team. And it was a snapshot of us from this interview. We took a picture at the end because it was on Zoom, and it was a snapshot of us. And it was just kind of like, this was such a fun interview, by the way. So getting that in the mail, again, the human touch point, who gets snail mail anymore from people where you're like, I don't know what this is besides bills, right? So that made it important. It's on my fridge right now. I'm actually looking at it right now. I put it on my fridge because I was like, man, this is so cool. So shouts out to Ramon, who actually today will be talking about things you can do to really create a human experience with your brand. See how lovingly I just spoke about Ramon and Tina Knowles? Like literally, I don't have any notes right now because it made such an impression on my brain. That's what you want to do with customers. That's the ultimate way to PR yourself, is how you leave somebody feeling. I felt amazing. I had the best sleep of my life at the Hilton after that event with Tina. And then I had an even better day after getting that picture from Ramon. So I want you to think about your business. When we come back from the break, Ramon is going to break down all the tips and the tricks for how you can create these memorable experiences as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, and how this is the ultimate way to PR yourself. If you don't take nothing else away from my podcast, this episode right here is where you really want to dig deep and dive in. So when we come back from the break, you're going to hear from Ramon Ray. We met through, again, shout out to Lamar and Ronnie Tyler of Traffic Sales and Profits. TSP is what we call it. Ramon was a speaker at our TSP Live conference last year, saw him speak. His brand is The Celebrity CEO. He has a book, The Celebrity CEO, How Entrepreneurs Can Thrive by Building a Strong Personal Brand. And I just remember being like, this guy's magnetic and he's in all of our groups and he's always so giving of his knowledge and his personality. You're going to hear him in a little bit. Like he's like this all the time. If you follow him on LinkedIn, when he goes live, you're like, wow, this man is really like this all the time. And on top of that, he just delivered such value and great advice that I was like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to speak on XYZ topic. He wrote right away. We got this interview scheduled and here he is. So Ramon Ray is a seasoned entrepreneur. He's a keynote speaker and an author who has helped countless small business owners just like yourself thrive by leveraging their personal branding. His book, The Celebrity CEO, How Entrepreneurs Can Thrive by Building a Strong Personal Brand, offers actionable steps to build your reputation, grow your business, and stand out in a crowded marketplace. Ramon is the publisher of zoneofgenius.com and is a regular contributor to major platforms such as Entrepreneur, Inc., and Forbes. When we get back from the break, you're going to help me welcome Ramon Ray. Keep it locked in.
This episode is brought to you by Kitcaster. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. How do funded startup founders attract prospects and talent? Podcast interviews. How do entrepreneurs with exits find new deals? Podcast interviews. How do C-suite execs differentiate in crowded markets? Podcast interviews. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. Click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Celebrate good conversation.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of PR Yourself with Leah Frazier. I am excited because I feel like I'm bringing family on today. Like, look at that smile. Yes, you know. I always brag about a very special group that I'm a part of, Traffic Sales and Profits, run by Lamar and Ronnie Tyler. I always come back and tell you guys how many nuggets, which is a word that we use, that I learned for my business that I share with you. But today I'm bringing the self-proclaimed celebrity CEO on, Ramon Ray, and he is going to talk to us about marrying our human experience with our businesses along with the technology that we can't get out of. We have to have it. And so I'm so excited to have you hear your dynamic, and I just love the energy you bring. So I'm so excited for this discussion.
Well, Leah, thank you for having me, and likewise to you. You can feel the camaraderie here today, and thank you. And again, shout out definitely to our coach, and thank you to Lamar and Ronnie for what they've done. But thank you, Leah, for the podcast you provide. And I think PR is such an important thing. It's such a closed box that many don't understand. And I like how you're saying, no, you can do it on your own. Meaning there's time and place to engage someone. We can go to that too. I've engaged people, and I think people should engage you. But I think I like you're saying, as you're starting out, here's how to do it. So, Leah, thank you for what you provide to the small business world.
You are so welcome. You probably get this question a lot. I have to ask.
Please do.
Where did we come up with this celebrity CEO title? And I must say, as a publicist, that is genius because it is the conversation starter. But how did we get here?
Well, the people said, Ramon, that's what you are. The people said it. It wasn't me. Now I sound like a president, right? But the people said it. It wasn't me. The people said it. But the essence of it is really because I think the book came out some time ago, short amount of time ago. And I've been in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Inc., Fox Business. I can go on, MSNBC and other places that you put your clients in, I'm sure, places like that, radio and podcasts like this. And people can ask me, Ramon, how do you do it? Literally, this is how I recall it happened. And that's when I coined the term. Every small business owner has the opportunity, if they wish, to be the celebrity CEO of their industry. You are the celebrity CEO of your PR industry, maybe not globally, but in the Leah Frazier world of what you're doing, clearly you are well known. So that's my challenge to all small business owners. You don't have to be hidden. You don't have to be the best kept secret, but in your industry, either globally, nationally, I'm the best known lady that wears a pink hat and has a 6-finger in Milwaukee. I don't know. Take it where you want it, but you have the right to be well known. So the answer to the question is, years ago, me doing my own personal branding, I said, let me just do a little teaching and talk about it. And I am the celebrity CEO.
Yes. And you own it. And you just, I can just tell, like I said, it just emanates itself from your being, like just in talking with you. Very believable. I want to stay here just for a moment, just because so many of our listeners, and oftentimes when I'm talking to potential clients, there's this hesitation to own being the celebrity CEO. It's like, oh, I want the business in front. I actually just engaged a client the other day. He's like, don't talk about me, just focus on the startup. And we kind of got into it. He's a lawyer, so, and I'm a lawyer too. So it's lawyer to lawyer arguing with each other on this call where I'm like, yeah, but it makes...
Tell me you're a lawyer the first time. I didn't realize. You caught me off guard. You say he's a lawyer. I was like, oh, poor Leah. Wow. Then she's like, I'm a lawyer too. I said,
good thing I didn't crap on lawyers before. Yes. But so we're kind of going back and forth. And I'm like, now look, if I can get people to like you, it makes it way more easier for me to get them to engage with a startup. But if you want to leave you out of it, and I guess this leads us into our human discussion, but I was like, if we leave you out of it, and I'm just talking business in the startup, we need to probably build for a little bit longer lead time for me to pitch because I'm taking the relatability factor out of it. And I don't know if it was due to fear or him not really wanting to be out front. He still opted to not be in the forefront and be that celebrity CEO. So what is your advice for folks who are teetering on, do I want to step out or not?
I think there's 3 key reasons why people often say, I don't want to be the celebrity CEO. I don't want to leverage my personal brand. That's in essence what it is. I call it that, but it's leveraging your personal brand. One is definitely fear. No, I don't speak, so I don't like my face. I don't like how I look. And I totally get it. I don't like the blemish I have here that my mama kept telling me I have a scar here and nobody knows this, whatever it may be. My nose is this way. I totally get it. We're all human, Leah, right? And I totally get it. So that's just, whatever the reason may be, you just don't like your voice, your face, you cringe at that. I respect that, and Leah can help you unpack that in other shows, or you call her and she'll set you straight. But that's one. You don't like something about you. Number 2 is you're in a team, and so you're hesitant. Me and Leah started the coffee company, so if I'm on the New York Times, I got to call my girl. I got to call him. We got to share it. And I've been there before. I'm sure you have when I've done my show and stuff. Can you have the 7 of us interview all 7 of us? No, I can't. So that's number 2. And then number 3, Leah, they don't see the value of it. They just don't really understand. They think it's push out Starbucks, GE, take your brand, Mercedes. Most of us, not all, But most of us are not that. Even a $20 million cleaning company, you can call it Verkel and Sons all day, but we know Bob, who's been to the Chamber of Commerce meeting for the last 7 years. So to repeat, you don't like something about yourself, your own visual or voice. Number two, other people or a partnership in there, so you feel there may be some friction. And number three, you just don't realize the power of the personal brand in addition to the corporate brand. That's the reason why.
I love that. And it's kind of like you're hitting on several things. And a lot of it is just have to do with mindset. A lot of it has to do with mindset. And sometimes we have to do some things and push ourselves outside of being comfortable to make the business work. And so this is a perfect segue into our conversation today, is how we can more connect with our human customers in the face of building the business. And many of you now, we've been talking about technology so much on the last couple of episodes, AI. So how do we build that relatability outside of people connecting with us? What are you seeing as far as in the business world? Like, how can we marry the two?
Yeah. A few days ago, somebody posted on LinkedIn and said, wow, look, Ramon sent to me a box of chocolate and cheese and juices and avocado. I'm making up half of it. I don't know what I sent them, but it was something cool. I'm sorry, Lee. I sent him a box of something.
By the way, I love avocados, so I don't need the chocolate. Send me avocados.
There we go. Well, I will take, my wife bought me these yesterday, so I will take these all day long.
Yes.
All day long.
Yes.
Ferrero, what is it? The famous, not Ferrero, Lindor's chocolate.
I
So
love
Lindor, if you're
those.
listening and you're a client of Leah's, hook me up. But where were we at? Yes. A few days ago, somebody posted something on LinkedIn. I sent them a gift, a box of some goodies and stuff like this. And they tagged my speaker agent, and they tagged me and posted it on LinkedIn. So the silly example that I'm trying to showcase there, that is one simple way we can do all the digital, all the stuff, and you should. But nothing beats me sending Leah a chocolate or sending her an avocado. And it may not even be in the mail, but that's the principle, that tactile way to separate and make a difference and get people to see you different than they normally may see you, something in the physical world. That's one way. And if you want, I can list a few things beyond physical, but I'll pause there. Okay. Yeah. So a few things that I'll say. So one is physical, and I have a card here as well, Leah. You don't want this time, Leah, that you have something that you always hold on the side here. Oh, here it is. So you can pull it up. So do you have any clients that are airlines? Because if so, I'm not going to show what it is. But do you have any clients that are airlines?
No, not
okay,
yet.
Good. So I can show that. Yeah, okay, good. So I was on a plane, 30,000 feet, 10,000 feet, whatever it is in the air. Lo and behold, I'm getting off the plane. Somebody says, Mr. Ray, can you stop? I'm like, okay, I'll stop. Thank you, Mr. Ray, for being a 30-year flyer of United Airlines. Custom handwritten card. So point number one, that's how to be more human in digital, where they have all the CRM, all the online stuff, but they touch me. That's number one. Number two, when you comment, Leah, can I tell you one thing? I don't know if you have a politics on this. I'm going to get a little political. When people use those AI engines, comment on my LinkedIn stuff, see, you know where I'm going. I get it. You trying to scale it, and do that to the people you don't know. Do that. You got your list of 5,000 strangers. They don't kind of know what time it is. But Leah sees me 30 seconds after she posts for the next 10 years, everything she does. Hey, Leah, that was inspiring. Hey, Leah, that was good. Leah, it's not really me, Ramon. So that's number two, comment, but comment authentically. Number three, what about DMing people? Me and Leah have a newer relationship here, but imagine as we get rocking together, get to know each other. Hey, Leah, this is a sign, leaving a voice message in case somebody's watching. Hey, Leah, this is Ramon. Just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you. Have a blessed day. Be well. So I'll stop there. I can go on, but those are some ways that, yes, use all the AIs, the technology, the CRMs. You should do all that. But I promise you, when Leah sent that handwritten note to a client, when Leah sent that cupcake to a journalist, when Leah came to a radio host baseball game, didn't have to, went out of her way, he or she remembers her more. And that's why Leah is the best PR person in the world.
I love so many of these topics. And I will even go so far as to say, like, there's a way that you handle your emails to me that stood out. And it's not even anything big. I'll pull it up sometime in our conversation today. And I was like, even though Ramon has his assistant on the email and you have other people kind of handling some of the day-to-day, just this one little signature, or the way that you were just like looking forward to it, or it was something that you said where I was like, wow, like I like that touch. Like it was very appreciative, even from somebody that's, this keynote speaker and on all these stages. And I'm like, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So it's just like you said, it's just little tweaks that you can do. You can still use all the automation and email marketing and all the things that you do. But how can we weave in some of these small little touch points to make a difference? And
it's important.
You didn't send me anything. You didn't spend money. You just put a small little touch on your email where I'm like, oh, wow, I really am talking to him and not Susie Q, the assistant.
Leah, only since you said it, I'm going to pull that thread a bit more, if I may, and I'm going to hone in on that. And I just feel myself wanting to well up with I'm not going to bawl and cry on the Leah Frazier PR show right now, but I feel like it. But Leah, I hear this quite a bit, and thank you for acknowledging that. And I'm saying this as a teaching moment, not for myself, but for your listeners, those who are listening to this. God has given us all different skills and talents. How Leah shows up may be different than me, et cetera. But hone in on that thing that makes you special, that thing that people say, oh my Lord, Leah always hone in on that. And I've heard this over and over again where I've gone all over the world. Ramon, you may not remember. A lady told me in Atlanta a few weeks ago, she said, you may not remember, but you're the first person that said hi to me when I was in a room. I don't mean to do it. It's just me. But I'm guessing that my email reaches out like that because I enjoy people. Everybody has value. And I never want to lose that. So what I'm trying to get to is that you're right. That's a way we can be more human. How I do it may be different. Calling out people's names. So back to you. But I thank you for saying it. But I just wanted to help others listening. It's a powerful, don't cost no money. It just takes a little bit of intentionality.
And like I said, it wasn't a lot of words. I pulled it up and all you said was, so on the last couple correspondence, you just kept saying, I'm so grateful. And, in my mind, I guess what triggered it for me was like the number of people that either their publicists reach out and want to be on the podcast, or maybe I reach out to them. I can't remember. They thank me afterwards, but in the process of being booked and coming on, already expressing your gratitude ahead of time. I don't remember anybody that's done that. So when I'm seeing that from you, I'm like, oh, wow, this is so genuine. Like, this is great. And so you said it a couple of times. And then here's one where you're like, I am honored to join you. And then honored was in all caps. And I'm like, wow, it's really making me feel like, the show, don't get me wrong, we worked hard on the show. The show is very successful, but to have a speaker or someone like yourself be honored and grateful in all of these words, don't do this, Ramon, don't do this to me, is good tears. And at the end of the day, the very point that we're trying to reach on human connection is like, it's not requiring that much out of you.
No, it doesn't at all.
Those were 2 words.
I'm grateful. And again, we're all different, but since this is Ramon on Leah's show, I think the reason why I don't even realize it so much until you brought it out, 1 or 2 people over the last few years have mentioned it. I was with a client. He said, Ramon, your emails are so spunky. It's just me. But I Leah, because by the fact that you see value in me to speak, and maybe I don't see myself like other people see me, but I truly am grateful. Even if you would have canceled it, because I've been on TV and all the kind of dope stuff I've done, even if it wouldn't have happened, to me it would have been just like, oh, somebody wants to talk to me. That's it. So I'm the kind of guy who's like, did the girl give you his number? Did the girl give you her number? Nah, but she waved at me from the side. That's how I live my life.
You're like, yes, I'll take that too.
Exactly.
But it's special. And I love these little tips. And it was like, this wasn't the direction this was supposed to take today, but I think this is how it's supposed to be. It reminds me of a book. I think it'll come to me, but it talked about just little small tweaks and changes that over time, it's like compound interest, the slight edge, that's it, the slight edge, just these little slight tweaks we can do every day that then compound into major things. So these little slight tweaks to your email, to commenting on social media, to am I going to go through my customer list and surprise someone with X, Y, and Z? Not all tens of thousands of them, but maybe 10 or 20. That's right. Make the most powerful changes for the business. And I love that. Absolutely love that.
Thank you.
So just a small segue, because I think, trust me, that's the episode in and of itself.
That's it.
Just as we're thinking about this, because we have so many tools now developing, and as small business owners, we're trying to figure out, okay, we got to use all of these things. We have our CRM system, so it just depends, I guess, on your business. And then we have email marketing. Through that is our touch point with our customers. And then with that, we try not to drive ourselves crazy. So we're automating things. And then we have AI. So here's all these different tools. How can we be more efficient? And maybe this still goes back to the points you gave before with all of these systems, but still feel human, because I can't sit here and write 50 emails a week. I can't write the automation ones that go out every 7 days or every 3 days, or when the customer does this, send them that. How can we still keep them tapped in without them saying, Ramon didn't write that?
Yeah.
Chat GPT did.
I think one, I'm going to tell you a super hack, but you can't tell nobody. Like, this is just
us in all of the 30 countries that tune into this.
No, but I have like a tool that they can't hear right now. When I go boop, they can't hear it. It's just me and you. Trust me, nobody else going to hear it. It's blocked out. I know y'all wondering why is there silence on your end, people listening. It's because I have a cone over me and Leah right now. So here's the secret, Leah. Get your EA or your teams to be involved. Sounds weird, but we're talking about human, right? Human connections, because we already know the digital stuff. You cover that in the podcast. You already know that. So here's what I mean by that. So as you know, my executive assistant, her name is Mayanne. And I integrate her in quite a bit of my processes. So as a CEO, as the entrepreneur, I need to scale. I need to do things. I need to think of the company revenue, all the things that you and I do, Leah, right? We're all growing a business. But what I can do is say, hey, Leah, here's 50 people. Hey, Mayanne, my executive assistant, here's 50 people. Here's 10 people. Here's 20 people. Email each of them a personal note. CC me. And say thank you on my behalf. Sounds weird. Sounds like Ramon, she's writing it. Yeah, they know she's writing it. I'm not trying to hide that, but I still did a touch point. And it wasn't CRM. So that's where you start to leverage team. After this, Leah, well, I'll just tell you, you probably will get a thank you card. And most likely have our pictures together on it. I'm not going to send it, actually. I ain't going to the post office, especially in this cold, but I know somebody who can. So that's the kind of thing, leveraging your team, leverage your EA or other members of your team to help scale your personality. Going back to gifts I sent to clients. Yeah, it sounds weird, but each one of them was personally emailed by Mayanne, CC me, so I could scale myself, but I could feel they felt the appreciation because they emailed back, oh, wow, thank you. I didn't send it. She did it. So is that helpful? That's one hack, as it were.
Really
use your EA.
Helpful. Yeah, that's really helpful, because I used to work with a client who was a speaker and an author, and she just wrote so many books, And I think it was like kind of at the cusp when SMS messaging was just starting to become a thing where we didn't know if we were irritated by it, but I kind of need you to send me the text message instead of the emails. And so she would send out these automated emails like every day. And it was believable by so many of her clients and customers. They genuinely thought that they were the only person getting that text message from that person. That's right. And one woman, I guess she put 2 and 2 and 2 together and figured out that it was on marketing automation. And I had stopped representing this client like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So she comes up to me and she's like, it's so good to see you. And she says, but I've got a bone to pick with you. And I was like, what? And she was like, I thought when that stuff was going out, like that was just going to me. I felt like I had a friend. I felt like this person cared about me. And she says, but when I found out it was on automation and that everybody was getting that, she says, I just feel like what you're doing is so disingenuous. And I said, well, for starters, it's not me. But again, there's that dichotomy of at the time when it worked, you felt the connection. But then there's also that other flip side of the coin that when it stopped feeling human, it really, really hurt your feelings. And it actually hurt my former client's brand because they felt like I don't have a connection with you. So, I mean, what do we do, Ramon?
I got an answer for that too. Want another hack? Want another answer?
Yeah, what's the
Okay,
hack?
here it goes. So 2 things. I'm giving you all my secrets. See, I'm going to have to put the cone up again. Just cones up again. Nobody can hear it now. Just block them out. All right. So now I'm happy to. So here's the 2 things I say. One, there are some SMS services, and you may know this better than me. So everybody, don't worry about the vendor, the process, the provider. Work with me here, people, as you get ready to hear this. But I think there's some providers, its name escapes me, SMM, that when people do reply back, you have the option to reply personally, or you can segment even from your phone, New York, people with those words. So go ahead. You know what I'm talking about on that one, Leah?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I want your tips.
Yeah. So that's one. I just wanted to say, meaning on the SMS side, that's the way to solve that. Use the provider if you want. Bring in your team again, that at scale, those who reply, you can build a bit of customization too. Because then that'll feel when they're, oh, thank you, I have a dog too. It don't go rejected reply box. Thank you. Or thank you, space team Leah. That people feel served. Number 2, this is what I do with emails. I'm not big enough yet. Who knows? Maybe Leah and I do some work together and I will be. But I'm not big enough yet that I can't reply to every email that comes to me. Now, I do have a variety of emails and segmentation of team. But each one of my emails as well, and my marketing automation emails, one, by the way, I'd like to think they're so good, the headlines, the content, that it feels personal, like you alluded to. But in my emails, most all of them say, reply back to me. I'm a real human, not a bot. And I realize I don't mean to be lying when I say it. It just, as I'm saying it, I realize it. That's not what I meant, because people may think that. What I'm trying to say is there's a heartbeat behind this email. So if you reply, I'll reply. And guess what? People reply and I reply back. Not all 10,000, 20,000 people, but every email blast that goes out, 3, 4 people. Hey, Ramon, thanks. Hey, Ramon, it's good seeing your wife in the picture. Hey, Ramon, I had a car crash too. I know how it feels. And I say thanks or good. People feel good. So I hope that's a little helpful. That's still personalization at scale. And most people will know, they should know, it's an email newsletter. I have one person in my family. She's related to me. She's very old. She birthed me. And she'd be like, oh, Ramon, you're bringing donuts to me too? I'm like, Mom, nope. CRM, please stop. You're on my list, but you got to stop replying to me. Ramon, were you down today? Oh, thanks, Ramon. 3 ways to, do whatever. And I'm like, Mom, stop. So I say that in jest. I love my mom, but few people will not get that it's automated. So
if you're reaching Mom and Mom's replying, then you're doing a good job.
Thank you. Indeed. And sometimes I forget though, I'll do something, hey, me and my son, what he learned, lessons he learned. Ramon, what did you and Tim learn? What happened? I'm like, Mom, it wasn't in a context for family to read that.
That's cute. I love that. I love that. Sometimes they do that, family.
Yes, of course.
But as we wrap, is there anything?
We gotta go. We gotta end.
I know. I don't like that. You needed an hour. You needed an hour-long episode, Ramon.
No, but go ahead. It's been great to be with you, Leah.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
We will do that. You know what I'll do? I will have you on my show. That's what we'll do. Part 2 on.
Fun. Podcast swapping. We talked about this, guys. There we go. What do we foresee in the future? Because you're so good at this. Like, you even gave me ideas. I was like, oh, Leah, you could be better at these touch points. What do we foresee in the future? As now, I got wind a couple weeks ago that even on social media, the newest thing is going to be creating these avatars, which some people have already done it, creating these avatars and creating your complete profile and even your image in AI, and allowing that to be the influencer. And it's like, we're not even going to be living in a human world after a certain point. What do you foresee?
I think 2 things are going to happen. The world is going to divide in 2 similar ways. One, the large brands that we will all hear about. Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, is always going to be Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a bit old and dated. My kids, your kids maybe don't know about him, but that's beyond the point. Eric Thomas is, bless him, these big, larger than life, Lisa Nichols people who have all thousands and millions of people, right? Tabitha Brown, good people, all that ecosystem. That's going to continue. You're going to have people have Mr. Beast. You can't beat that. And nor should you try. You're going to have the niche media. People like, if I can say it respectfully, me and possibly Leah. We're not known all over the world, but if you were in the right funnel, you hit the right button, we are big people in our worlds. So I think that's where it goes to. And again, I can go riff on this farther, but for sake of time, that's what I'm trying to say. You're going to always have the big people, Barack Obama, President Trump, take your pick, or outsized entrepreneurs, the prophet, Marcus Lemonis. They hit TV, they got on scene. That's always going to happen. But you're going to have then a good niche following, and you can make a good living or build a good brand by being the celebrity CEO, well known in your industry. And that's where the world's going.
And the celebrity CEO that's very intentional about creating even the smallest of a human experience with your brand.
Yes, absolutely. Can I just say, Leah didn't ask me to say this? Invest in PR. I'm not saying this because I'm a Leah show, but I'm telling you, I've used PR. It is a game changer for you, not just to get the publicity you have in that moment, but then how Leah will help you use it afterwards. Those both things going hand to hand will catapult your brand. Absolutely.
And I think that was my clip. We we need a clip for social. That's the teaser and the clip, and this the endorsement. So thank you, Ramon. This has been just an absolute joy. It's been a week. It's been a year. We started 2025 over again on February 1 because January was just too much. So thank you for bringing a little bit of sunshine and joy to our podcast. And if there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know. Let the users or the listeners know how can they find you, and then how can we cop a copy of The Celebrity CEO?
Sure. Anybody wants to connect with me, get to know me better, celebritysceo.com, celebritysceo.com. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, if you say some version, Leah Frazier, Ramon, I heard you on her show, some version, people, you can't use AI. Got to be you, really. That was a silly joke. I will send you a copy of my book. First 3 people. I will sign it and send it to you, but you got to mention Leah Frazier's name.
Hey, and you heard it here first. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know what to do. Like, comment, share, leave us a review, and let me know. Ramon, you heard it here first. He's coming back for about 3-4 more episodes. So let us know what you want to hear from our very own celebrity CEO, and you know what to do. Until next time.